crisis report. Messed it up. It is 2/17/25, so I apologize for that. So we'll fix that on the outro. But really appreciate you being here. We're not going to get real long-winded. I know it's a late one. And plus, there's not much going on Mondays. Mondays tend to be the light day. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're just like kind of preloading the doom and, trying to get ready for a week's worth of doominess. But the crisis report chugs along. February 17th, 2025. We'll fix it. But yeah, just got done with a little doom stream over on the PrepperNow. Did an earlier video with Hudson Valley. Did one on the unintended consequences one on the stuff that's going on in D.C., whether that's the Social Security people, the 360-year-olds receiving checks, or the multiple houses now that are going up, and the housing boom that's going, housing crash that's going to happen in D.C. And then we had one on the chicken flu earlier, because it is getting worse. It's getting bad. So, as stated over there on PrepperNow, it said 5.7% inflation is going on in January of 2025. In the final 3 weeks of Mr. Joe, you tack on the whole avian flu thing, and what you guys have is a confluence of suck, and what you have is your chicken and protein prices are going to be exploding here pretty soon. So, you might want to prep that. Just saying. So, friends, 2 minutes in, it's Monday, Fun Day Monday. We're going to get rolling here on the Crisis Report. You know what to do. Hit the links in the description. Hit the like button. Do the subscribe bell if you are new here. Sincerely appreciate you being here, and we're going to get started. This is your Crisis Report for February 18th, 2025. Leaked draft deal. United States to claim 50% of Ukraine's resource revenues of reconstruction aid. Leaked draft agreement between the United States securing 50% of Ukraine's mineral, oil, gas, and infrastructure revenues in exchange for post-war financial support. Deal centered around a reconstruction investment fund would give the U.S. control over Ukraine's resource licensing, long-term economic influence. Key terms. U.S. Government commits to long-term financial investment in Ukraine's stability and reconstruction. The Ukrainian must allocate 50% of all revenues from resources extractions licensed to the U.S., effectively granting Washington a financial stake in Ukraine's economy. Reconstruction Investment Fund will have exclusive authority on how Ukraine issues and manages resource licenses. U.S. will have a right of first refusal to purchase any exportable minerals before Ukraine can sell them elsewhere. Ukraine must waive sovereign immunity, meaning the U.S. can legally seize Ukrainian assets if Ukraine fails to meet financial obligations. Agreement classified Ukraine's resource deals as commercial transactions, making them subject to U.S. and international arbitration. Gains full audit rights over Ukraine's financial books related to Reconstruction Fund. I love this, by the way. Ukraine must provide monthly financial reports to the U.S. and appoint independent auditor. Agreement does not specify an expiration date, meaning U.S. financial interest in Ukraine could remain indefinitely. Ukraine, if they refuse this, well, that's right, they did. He refused to sign the draft mineral resource agreement with the U.S., saying that it does not adequately protect Ukraine's interests. The agreement is not ready to protect our interests. Former senior Ukrainian official told the U.S. it is a colonial agreement. The U.S. seeks 50% of Ukraine's rare minerals and a signal it is open to deploying American troops to guard them if the deal with Russia to end the war. So what is this? This is Trump's way of taking his business knowledge and basically saying, you either are going to get a crappy deal with us because we're done being your protector, or you can go to the negotiating table and act like a big boy and give up what you need to give up to make sure that peace is ensured. That's what I think. I think Trump was like, I'm going to make this thing so crappy and nasty that he will have to go to the negotiating table. I think that's the mentality. I might be wrong. Putin will be ready for a major war in Europe in 5 years, expects to get away with attacking NATO, according to the Danes. Report outlines a chilling timeline of growing threats from Moscow, as soon as 6 months' time. Within 6 months, analysis claims Russia could be capable of fighting a local war in a country bordering its territory. Within 2 years, Russia could pose a credible threat to one or more NATO countries, potentially sparking a regional conflict in the Baltics region. 5 years, Russia could be ready for a full-scale war in Europe without the need for American support or intervention. Denmark's intelligence chief Anja Dalsgaard Nielsen, das ist gut, told Danish newspaper Jyllands-Posten that there is currently no concrete Russia threat to Denmark, but the situation is shifting rapidly. Translation: hey, we need to beef up our budgets. Uncle Sugar's leaving. So we need to freak everybody out and think that Russia's going to be attacking us in the next few years. That way we can get the monies we want. That's all it is. U.S. Secretary of State Rubio has already arrived in Saudi Arabia for talks with the Russian representatives on the ending the war in the Ukraine. Trump's National Security Advisor Michael Waltz and Special Representative Steve Witkoff will participate in the talks with Rubio, source said. It is not yet known who will represent the Russian Federation. However, the media previously named 2 negotiators. According to the Russian press, negotiations will start tomorrow. Rubio is also likely to discuss Trump's idea of resettling Palestinians from the Gaza Strip with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, according to Reuters. In light of the Israeli delegation's visit to Cairo today, an Egyptian official told the Lebanese newspaper Al Akhbar, despite the relative stability and the ceasefire, it is threatened with collapse at any moment. More than ever, Egypt and Qatar have a desire to not to hand over all of the Israeli hostages, except after it is guaranteed that there is an agreed path to ensure the war does not resume. According to him, the current American moves clearly reflect a desire to continue pressuring Hamas, which is not possible after its commitment to implement what has been achieved. Cairo believes that Hamas's implicit agreement not to return managing the Gaza Strip alone will constitute an attempt to market the management of the Strip without elections are held, one of the main issues on which Egypt is currently building its plan. Pay attention to the above words. If it's Egypt and Qatar that won't let the hostages be released until Hamas is happy. Mediators? No. So that's Amir Sarfati, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. Ukraine will not participate in the talks this weekend with the U.S. and Russia and Saudi Arabia. It goes back and forth like ping pong. And we're going, we're not going, we're going, we're not going. We're invited, we're not invited. Whatever. President Trump just fired more than 200 employees from FEMA. Senator Mike Lee has confirmed that despite being a member of Congress, he has been repeatedly denied entry into Fort Knox. Mexican Senate has officially approved the deployment of U.S. Special Forces to combat cartels. NBC News has blamed Donald Trump and Elon Musk for today's Delta Airlines plane crash in Canada, because if it's a wreck or it's something bad happened in the world, it's old Donnie and Elon. Doge just exposed that until now the Treasury Department had no traceability for $4.7 trillion in U.S. taxpayer funds. Just flying out in the wind, whatever. Pretty sure it's trending on X, at least it was about an hour ago. U.S. Attorney for the District of Rhode Island, Zachary Cunha, stepping down after being directed by the White House to do so at the president's order. Wonder what that dude did. Russia confirms no Ukrainian or European officials are present in Saudi Arabia for negotiations with the United States. Sweden. does not rule out sending troops to Ukraine after ceasefire agreement has been reached, according to the Swedish Foreign Minister Maria Malmer Stenergard. Second type of H5N1 bird flu jump from cows to humans. Weep, weep. This is a red alert. This is a red alert. CDC and health officials in Nevada detailed the case on Monday. First human case of highly pathogenic avian influenza, H5N1, recorded in the state. The afflicted individual is a farm worker who was presumably infected by cows carrying the D1.1 genotype of H5N1, which differs from the type of virus most commonly seen in cows since 2024. Researchers at the Scripps Research Institute in California have shown under laboratory conditions that a single mutation of the virus could be enough for it to learn to spread amongst humans. Little doom voice. Unusual developments are unfolding in Egypt. Recently, Egyptian paratrooper brigades conducted intensive training exercises, including aircraft jumps and operations with powered gliders, same type that was used on October 7, 2023. British Prime Minister wants to act as a bridge between Washington and Europe as he tries to convince U.S. President Donald Trump that Europe is ready to play a key role in securing peace. Arab countries will inform America of the plan to rebuild Gaza without displacement before the end of this month. Good. Ball's in your court. United States Air Force has deployed B-52 nuclear-capable long-range bombers to Qatar, flying close to the Iranian border towards the south. Trump spoke with Macron about the meeting of Russian and U.S. representatives in Saudi Arabia, according to the White House. German police raiding homes to curb online hate speech. Yes, that's going on right now. German prosecutors appear to find it funny to raid the homes of citizens. They're shocked. Ha 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 ha. No comment. Of course they're shocked. You're busting in their door because they said something, nasty on Facebook, and the entire country's full of wusses that can't handle it. Good Lord. Whew. Sorry, we're back. U.S. Vice President Vance says German prosecutors raiding citizens' homes over insults online is Orwellian, and everyone in Europe and the U.S. must reject this lunacy. Now, there you go. Vance added that criminalizing speech is going to put real strain on European-U.S. relations. ICE arrests SAG, declining from 800 per day in January to fewer than 600 in February. Trump admin stops publishing daily numbers, will release data on a monthly basis to conserve resources. Foreign Minister Baerbock is going to let the cat out of the bag. EU reportedly plans a 700 billion sterling euro weapons package to arm Europe. Secret weapons plans. The EU is preparing an unprecedented financial package. According to Annalena Baerbock, there will be a large package comparable to the Corona. Bloomberg reports that the package will only be published after the German parliamentary elections in order to avoid controversy. Green Party member Baerbock said that Germany will bear a considerable part of this historic event. X accuses Germany of unlawful requests for user data. Don't do it. North Korea is going to keep bolstering nuclear forces, criticizes the U.S. for pursuing outdated denuclearization goal. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has arrived in Saudi Arabia. He will meet with Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov tomorrow. Trump admin has identified 15,000 IRS employees to possibly terminate employment of possibly by next week. Oh, such tears. I'm sure there's a great place in accountancy or something you can find a job at. Pope Francis' infection is presenting a complex clinical picture and requires further hospitalization, according to the Vatican. Pope Francis has spent the past few days alternating hospitalized, switching between resting and reading, the Vatican added in a brief statement. His doctors have advised complete rest, and Francis was unable to deliver his regular Sunday prayer to pilgrims in St. Peter's Square or lead a special mass for artists held to mark the Catholic Church's Jubilee year. Francis proposed a European deployment that would remain well behind the front lines, reassuring Ukraine without necessarily committing itself to join any future fight. American officials are suggesting a different sort of peacekeeping force, including non-European countries such as Brazil or China. That would sit along an eventual ceasefire line as a sort of buffer. U.S. intelligence warned both the Biden and Trump administration about Israel's attempt to strike Iran nuclear facilities, cautioning that an attack could increase the risk of a wider war. Israel has officially accused Turkey of cooperating with Iran to transfer money to Hezbollah. There's an increased Iranian effort to smuggle money to Lebanon for Hezbollah in order to restore the power and status, including via Turkey, and through its cooperation. Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Saar told a visiting delegation to U.S. senators and Deputy Middle East Specialty Envoy Morgan Ortagus. Ukrainian drones in an oil pipeline in southern Russia, according to the company. U.S.-Russia meeting in Riyadh is not Ukraine's negotiation. U.S. meeting with Riyadh, not Ukraine's negotiation, according to Washington. There we go. February 17th, 2025, Delta Airlines regional jet, identified as Flight 4819, operated by Endeavour Air, crashed upon landing at Toronto Pearson International Airport while arriving from Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. Aircraft involved was a CRJ 900. All 80 passengers and crew members were safely evacuated. That's good. Iran will carry out operations True Promise 3 against Israel at the appropriate time, according to the deputy commander of the IRGC. Israel's Knesset Speaker Amir Obama to U.S. U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham says eliminating Iran's nuclear program will go down in history as preventing a nuclear holocaust. U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal says that Jordan's King Abdullah has convinced me that the plan the Arab states will present to Trump is realistic. The plan the Arab states will present to Trump could be a game changer for the region. There are two options regarding Iran, according to Senator Lindsey Graham. either bomb their nuclear facilities or reach an agreement with them. I prefer the first option. U.S. may withdraw its troops from the Baltic countries in negotiations with Russia, Financial Times writes. Trump administration officials have explored the idea of auditing the gold reserves at Fort Knox. Ron Paul has repeatedly warned about the United States government's secrecy over its gold, sparking theories that it may have already secretly sold it to foreign nations. No member of Congress has been granted access to the vault in over decades. Ron Paul claimed the gold was stolen from the people by the U.S. government through an executive order in the 1930s. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth says we welcome Doge and Elon to the Pentagon. There are redundancies that need to be addressed. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is vowing the gates of hell will open if Gaza and all the hostages held by Hamas are not released. When asked if the ceasefire and hostage deal stands, Secretary of State Marco Rubio stated, we are not in favor of waiting weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. That may be the process, that's in place because of the deal, but we would like to see them all out as soon as possible and continue to coordinate. Latest poll on the upcoming AFD, SPD, XYZ PDQ elections are as such. This Sunday, February 23rd, they are coming, so next week. CDU, CSU, 27% down 2. AFD, 20% down 1. SPD, 70% down 1, up 1. Grün, 12% flat. Link, 9% flat. BSW, 5% flat. Compared to February 12th, 2025, keep always informed. At least 9 people have died in the latest severe weather across the United States, with 8 fatalities in Kentucky, where heavy rainfall has also been flooding. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear reported numerous rescues, with over 1,000 people saved since the storms started. President Donald J. Trump authorized federal aid for Kentucky. Most deaths were due to the vehicles being trapped by floodwater, including a mother and her 7-year-old child. It's awful. Pretty terrible. Oh, look, that's it. There's your crisis report. February 17th, 2025. Friends, we got links in the description. We got stuff going on here. We got stuff going on there. If you like what we're doing here, best way to support is become a member. If you like, subscribe, start on locals, couple bucks a month for that, $3. You can become a member on YouTube for $2. And then, of course, you've got Twitter and Minds and X and Gab. I think that's all of them. So, thanks so much for being here. Please hit that like button as you go. God bless you all, and we will see you on the next one. Please do go check out that video over on Rumble. No, excuse me. Nope, I'm wrong. Hudson Valley Preparedness. Yes, please go check out the video that he's got going on. With he and I do a little chit chat. So, love to have you there. But until then, friends, keep prepping, okay? I learned something tonight. A frozen, broken water main will freeze your car in place on the street. Never seen that before. So, hopefully you don't see that either. All right, friends. Stack, stock, stick to the plan. Keep your head on the swivel when you powder dry, and we'll appreciate you coming by. The Crisis Report by PrepperNow, and we will see you on the next one.